Now I'd like to discuss the image size. And to start with, I'd like to make a point, and this is that images from digital cameras are usually much larger than video images, even HD videos. In our example here, I'd like to see how big the original image is in relation to its resolution. To do this, I use the right mouse button over the clip and call up the properties. And here, under the still image info section, I can see the frame size, and that is 5616 by 3744 pixels. So this is much larger than my video resolution. And therefore, this image has been scaled down in the layouter. I'll call the layouter up once more with F7, and here, under stretch, we can see that this image has been scaled down to approximately 34%. And this is logical, because the image that we've seen is much too big to be shown in full in my video resolution. If I bring the image back up to the original size, by specifying a value of 100% here, then when we see the image in its original size, we only get to see a small section of the image. And of course, we don't want this. So once again, we'll adjust it to our resolution. What is interesting for an EDIUS user, amongst other things, is that if I wish to fully display the image, then I don't need it in such a large resolution. In fact, the opposite is probably true. If I have lots of large digital images that I've imported, then my EDIUS project will be unnecessarily large, and this could slow down the loading time of my project. For these reasons, it is probably useful to adjust the resolution of such an image to a resolution that is relevant for my video project. Of course, I could do this with an external graphic program. As we've seen before, I can find out where this file is by using the right click and choosing Explorer. And now I'm in my photo folder where all my images are located. And now I could use a graphic program, for example Photoshop, to adjust the size of this image to a different scale. One thing I have to be aware of, though, is that this is actually the original file. And so if I adjust this file, I'm adjusting the original image. And I don't really want to change the original image file. So the first thing to do would be to make a copy of this. And I don't need to do this manually. I can specify this directly from EDIUS. And there is a function called Transfer to Project folder that is available via right mouse click. This icon shows us that it is working. And now the image is copied into my project folder. This means I'm working from now on with a copy of this image. If I click with my right mouse to call up the Explorer again, then I can see that this clip is the one located in my project folder and is a copy of the original image. And so I can edit this copy, for example, with a graphic program to scale it without affecting the original image. In the context of this course, I don't really want to discuss using other graphic programs, but I will show a method with which I can adjust this image to suit the EDIUS project resolution, and that's actually quite easy. After I have inserted the image, I can quite easily make a snapshot of it using the photo function. We've seen this before. So what I've done is I've adjusted the image with the layouter so that I can see the specific section of it. And now I can use the Create Still Image to create a new version. And now when I click with the right mouse button and look at the properties, I can see that it does have the correct video resolution. So it's been scaled to suit my project format. Now I just have to replace the image in the timeline as it still refers to this clip. This should be replaced by this one here, and I can simply do this via drag and drop. So with drag and drop and the right mouse button, I drag the new image over the old one and let go, and then choose the replace function, and now the image is replaced. Optically, nothing has changed in the preview, as this section looks exactly the same. The only difference is we're talking about a scaled and adjusted image, which of course uses less space. This first link I can remove with a right mouse click. However, in this situation, I could actually use delete file, as having created a still image, new data has been created. So, in this case, delete file. If we were talking about an original file, then I probably wouldn't choose delete file, and I would simply have to remove it from the bin.